All right.
Well, it's a nice commercial to go for.
Yes. Welcome to the Mass Transit meeting of 10/27/2021, the Albany County Legislature. Let's start with the attendance tonight. I'm Lynn Lakakis, Dave Mayo,
Here.
Bob Beston,
Here.
Norma Chapman. I'll take that as a yes. Vicky Pulaski.
Here, I'm here. Oh, sorry, Lynn, it's Norma here.
Hi, Norma. Jen Whalen. Rick Touche.
Present.
Bill Reinhardt.
Here.
Allison McLean Lane. All right, so the first course of action this evening is to approve the former meeting minutes.
So move.
So move, Mr. Touche.
Second.
By Mr. Reinhardt. Very nice. Next, we have number 21 LL-H, local law H for 2021. A local law of the County of Albany, New York, relating to the safe use of electric scooters and bicycles with electric assist. I believe we have Mr. Demolowitz tonight to speak on this. Gary, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. This is just a continuation of a local law that we passed a few years back that I sponsored with County Executive McCoy, Legislator McCoy back then. Now it's all updated to now where these scooters and bicycles are electronic and can travel as fast as 35 miles an hour. I did send out a letter to everyone from the Brain Injury Association of New York State. They sent us a memorandum of support. It's important to note that from them not wearing a helmet, it was sending people to the hospitals with more than 40,000 broken bones and wounds and injuries. Almost 5% of the riders don't wear helmets, and so that leads to 1/3 of the patients having head injuries, and that's more than double the rate of injuries experienced by bicyclists. So this is a local law that we're looking to move forward in Albany County, and I hope you support it. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Lynn, can I just make a technical statement? Mr. Beston, you're muted. It's *6 to unmute.
What's that?
Sorry, it was Mr. Beston's phone is muted. If you press *6, it'll unmute.
Bob, do you have a question?
I wouldn't be able to know is my issue.
I see. Does anyone else have a question?
I guess I'll ask this question, and I apologize because it's been so long since I read the bill when it first was coming through the system here. Is this affecting only bicycles with electric assist? So what we're doing is we're expanding the helmet requirement from regular bikes to electric assist bikes, or is this more expanding from people who drive motorcycles required to wear helmets to electric assist bikes specifically?
No, this is specifically for electric assist bikes and scooters. Nothing to do with motorcycles. This is filling a void that this isn't in state law. So that's why we're filling a void and moving forward with it, hopefully here in Albany County.
So if you have a regular bike, you're not required. This will not affect you at all.
This is electric bikes only.
Okay, all right.
Scooters, right?
Electric, yeah, and scooters.
And the idea is that they go at higher speeds than the bikes, regular bikes.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. They can travel as fast as 35 miles an hour. Have you seen them? I see them all over our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Up and down Western Avenue and Washington Avenue and Scotland. And I mean, they're all over the place. And they move.
Yeah. Well, one reason, Gary, that I asked the question I did was that I actually know a neighbor who died from a traumatic brain injury. And he was on a regular bike, but he was a serious biker. So he was in like a race where he was probably going about 50 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
And my point in being that brain injuries are a real thing. And B, he was going more like the kind of speeds you might see with the electric boost or maybe even a little bit faster than most electric
Faster.
scooters.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It is a different, it's a different animal when you're going at speeds like that compared to, what I would typically see on the rail trail. But even the serious bikers on the rail trail can get up there and pretty high in speed. But those guys are almost always wearing helmets, at least that's what I notice.
they're smart. They're smart. And I mean, that's the point of a pundit, but to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Right.
Thank
If
you.
I may hop in,
Thank you.
Chair, if I may hop in for a moment.
Go ahead, Vicky.
Sure. A couple thoughts. I believe the manufacturers have to have a regulator, so to speak, on these, that they are limited to, I don't know, I think 25 miles per hour under New York state law. Whether they actually do that or not, I don't have the information on that. And also, if Albany ever goes the direction of inviting the scourge of Lime scooters or the other type of scooters to Albany, this would kind of shut that down preemptively. Not that I'm saying we should do that, but if you're going to require helmets on electric scooters, those companies won't be able to operate in Albany.
Now, Vicky, elaborate on what you mean by that. What kind of scooters are we talking about now?
So Lime is one of the companies that has scooters that you pay a couple bucks and you can scoot from one place to another and drop it off and pick up another one and go home, like the CDTA bicycles that we have around. It's the same idea, but it's for electric scooters. I think it's a passing fad. Many Lime approaches various municipalities to say, let us into your jurisdiction. And then the municipalities get all excited about it. They let them in. Then they see accidents go up. They see scooters basically littering the sidewalks. I was just in Austin. There are scooters just everywhere. Then the cities back off of those agreements and let the agreements expire and get rid of the electric scooter arrangements. So people could still have their own private scooters, but they find themselves doing away with the Lime type of scooters.
Yeah.
But if you have a rack of scooters that you could just walk up and scoot away on, no one's really going to be bringing their helmet unless they've really planned in advance. So it doesn't really meet their business model, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think they'd be a good idea for Albany. I'm just saying that's an unintended consequence that we would be looking at. I'm not against it. I don't like brain injuries either.
It almost sounds like you're saying maybe it is an intended consequence.
I don't know. Only Gary would know that. So.
Yeah.
So
Lynn, Lynn, you're muted.
Anybody have anything else you want to discuss?
I think for the purposes of the committee, if you don't mind, Chair, we should mention the other letter we got that was opposed to the legislation because it would hinder biking in any sort of form, apparently. Would be a way to kind of summarize that letter, which I haven't read for a number of weeks. So I don't really remember exactly what they were saying right now.
I do recall that letter.
It puts the onus plainly on the person who's riding the bike. And so just like with a bicycle, you are responsible to provide your own headgear and protection. And so this just expands it. I think what this does is send a strong message that we care about people and their brains. And, brain injuries are not easy to recover from. And, it always astounds me when I see a family going by, all three kids have bicycle helmets on and the parents don't. It's like, well, to me, it's a protection for the whole family. But again, everybody, I think it's just a strong message that we believe that it's the safest thing that our people should be doing, just as with bicycles.
Madam Chairman, can I just speak to that letter that was sent?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, just because I was very confused with it. They said in the letter that they endorse helmets, but yet they're not endorsing a bicycle that can go 25, 30 miles an hour not to wear a helmet. So, I mean, I was just totally confused with that.
I got Mr. Grimm.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. I think that what they're saying is they would wear helmets, but they don't want it to be mandated, which is it's an old, that's been a discussion going on for a long time. My question is about the type of helmet. It says in section C, any helmet worn to comply with the local law conforms to the requirements established by the New York Department of Motor Vehicles. So are we talking a bicycle helmet or a motorcycle helmet? They're two very different things.
No, there's two very different things. In fact, their class, I mean, council can address that. We did that for Mr. Bergdorf when he had the same question, and he was satisfied with her answer. I don't know if Rebecca's on or not.
I am on, Gary. Thank you. This would be a
Thank you.
bicycle helmet, yes. It's
Yeah,
not a
bicycle
motorcycle
helmet.
helmet or anything
How come it
more.
doesn't, how come it doesn't say that in the bill though? Wouldn't it just say it's a bicycle helmet in the bill?
It references, well, because there's no such thing as a bicycle helmet. The bicycle helmet is one that is of good fit and as defined by New York State DOT. So it mirrors essentially the regulations set forth by Department of Transportation.
But don't they
That's right.
require you to wear a better helmet if you're on a motorcycle? Doesn't DMV have a
Well,
requirement?
DMV has a separate iteration for that because it is a motorcycle is a vehicle, whereas an assisted scooter is not considered a motorized vehicle pursuant to
Okay.
DMV and DOT regulations.
So the
Okay.
state is defining these as bicycles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Today.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
No worries.
Thank you for your question, Mark.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, well, let's, all right, Bill,
I move we move this out of committee with a positive recommendation.
second,
we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Motion passes. We also need to vote on the minutes, so.
Yeah, I was
we
going
had
to say that. Yes,
We had
let's vote on the
we had a
minutes.
first and a second, and all in favor of approving the minutes?
aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I think that's it for today. Let's see. Yes, I believe it is. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right then.
Second.
I don't know if you want to
Second
sit down
that.
and
Thank you.
talk about Bill's heating system, but it is an option and
And my grandson, who is downstairs, he's perhaps peeing on the new floor.
fantastic. Get out there, Grandpa. All right. Good